All right, back at Toksook. My friend the Raven is up there still. If I look at him, he doesn't make noise. Anyway, this is Nelson Island. In the summertime, it looks like the hills of Scotland. This is, I've shown you a bunch of totally flat tundra, which is just barely above sea level. Out here, this is, that hill over there is, I think, 800 feet. There's some portions of the island are 1,200 feet or so. Bering Sea, everything out there. I started late today, so there's a bunch of flights left. I'm going to get some of them. Headed back to Bethel, pick up some people, take to Russian mission. And by the way, I'm not filming the passengers for a number of reasons. Privacy concerns, professionalism, there's probably regulations and safety, all that kind of stuff, so. All right, I've been asked to make a video that's more extended than my typical 30 seconds. What a place to start. Not quite halfway through this shift. This right here is one of our Piper Navajos. I've got a flat tire on the ramp here. So I had another pilot who was timing out at the end of the day, maximum 8 hours for part 135. I hadn't flown anything, so I grabbed his airplane, grabbed the mechanics, tools, jack, all that, came out here. This is Shiffornik, which is 80 something nautical miles. Bethel is that way, northeast. You can see the village of Shiffornik is over there. Over time, they've wised up and decided to build the runways further from town, whereas they used to be right in town. Sometimes the houses were along the edge of the runway, but you know, these 207s are loud. Not that the Navajos are quiet. So building the runway a couple miles away is a good idea. Anyway, these guys are going to take probably 20 minutes, swap this wheel out. It is flipping cold here. My hands are not going to work much longer. So we started our day. Assistant Chief came out here just a little while ago, pulled off all the wing covers that are on these airplanes. They've been plugged in. Gonna pre-flight them and get going. All right, this is Queethlick, PFKW, my first flight of the day. Moon's still up, sun's yet to come up. It is 8:30 in the morning for future reference. Last month it would have been pitch black for another hour. Real soon, in the next week or two, it's going to be almost impossible to maintain night currency. This airplane right here is one of my favorite 207s, probably my current favorite 89 uniform. Is a plane that we dragged out of the pile of parts and put back together. This thing is a real performer, short field. I can get this thing off the ground fully loaded in ridiculously short spaces, more so than some of the other planes on the line. Continental IO 520, 300 horsepower for takeoff, limited 5 minutes, 285 continuous. This is a brand new 520, or I should say overhauled, but ready to go onto that airplane. This is the old engine that came off. The airplane falls on its tail when it doesn't have an engine in the front. Notice the engine mount is completely different than like a 172. It's got the bed mount. All this is part of the structure of the airplane. It's not cowling like on a 172 where they mount the engine and the nose wheel to a tinfoil firewall. Always seemed like people with a Bonanza or 182 or whatever had a Continental on it was always putting on cylinders and had a shorter TBO. In daily use out here, these airplanes are stone axe reliable. They go clear to TBO. This engine timed out, but it ran perfect, had great compression, didn't burn oil. It's a shame to have to pull them off, but as Part 135, we're required to do that. Just to put it in perspective, these engines time out about once a year in operation here. We fly a lot. All right, I just had to stop and throw the nose blanket on. It is minus 20 Celsius out here right now, plus a little bit of wind. In other words, damn cold. These nose blankets are pretty amazing. If we just park one of these airplanes out here for 15 to 20 minutes, that engine is stone cold and possibly won't start again. It's also not very good for it. These blankets, you throw them on if you're not lazy like I just was, because I'm expecting passengers any minute. It'll keep an engine warm for like 4 hours or more, and it serves as a good emergency blanket in the case you go down somewhere. These 3-blade Hartzell props are basically super loud, like a seaplane prop. And my job this morning, I'm hauling 5 people out of here, taking back to Bethel. It's only took me 14 minutes to get here, taking me about the same to get back. Kangaganak. We just call it Kong because I can't pronounce it correctly. So far today, I started Bethel, did a Kwetlik run. That was the first one with the sun just coming up. Then I made it to Kangaganak and Quigalingok. We just call them Kong and Quig. Went back to Bethel, moved a bunch of passengers. Then I got sent out to Hooper Bay and then here to Scammon Bay to drop off a bunch of produce for the schools. It was actually surprisingly warm in Hooper Bay, which is just 20 minutes from here, and right now my hand is about to freeze solid to this phone. So let's go. I didn't run the camera when I was on the ground at Hooper, but this is Scammon Bay, which is to the north. I kind of love this village. Can't see it over the snow piles, but that is the Bering Sea, actually all the way over there. Cape Romanzoff is out this direction. A little fuzzy to be able to see it right now. I believe Cape Romanzoff still has one of those White Alice stations. Didn't point it out before, these are DOT buildings. Inside there is going to be a grader and a bucket loader, which they use for plowing the runway and the ramp here. It is typical. Yeah, I kind of like the housing here, different colors. Those rocks that are sticking up over there are on your approach end, so be warned. I've been told that rocks that look like that around here, and I filmed some on the way over here, are actually petrified trees. No clue if that's real or not. Anyway, we'll fire up, kick rocks, head back to Bethel, try and film a little bit once I get off the ground here. This is really it's a beautiful spot. Again, Bering Sea straight through there. Okay, I'm about to fire up. I'm headed to Tuntutuliak, which is Alpha 6-1. I have an entire plane load of potato chips. It's about 169 pounds, and I'm picking up 4. Started out the day, I had a flight out to Scammon Bay, but as I was taxiing out, I got a text message that the weather had gone 0-0 out there, so scrapped that, sat around for a while. Now I'm taking these 2 large printers behind me up to Holy Cross, which is a place I'd never been, so pretty awesome. The plane I'm flying right now is 7-3 uniform. It's the plane I showed earlier that was getting a new engine. This is Holy Cross. Didn't get much of a look at the village. Out here there's actual terrain and trees. This is not so much the tundra. Runway over here. It's actually not too cold here, -8 Celsius. Not very much wind. It's the 2 printers I brought for the village. We have been very fortunate this entire month to have a bunch of severe clear weather. Yesterday it started rolling in from the west. Today it's 300-foot overcast. This is going to last several days, which means through the end of this shift. Thanks for watching.